Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, let me begin with a simple truth. Greatness is never given, it is earned. And when we talk about greatness in sports, in determination, in the ability to rise again and again no matter how many times you fall, one name stands taller than the rest. That name is Michael Jordan. Now, when I say Michael Jordan, many of you immediately think of basketball. Championships, Chicago Bulls, number 23 flying through the air. You think of slam dunks, buzzer beaters, and the words, the greatest of all time. But let me tell you this, Michael Jordan did not start as the greatest. He started as a young boy who was cut from his high school basketball team. Think about that. The man we call the greatest basketball player of all time was once told, "You're not good enough." And that's exactly why his story matters, because his life is not just about basketball. His life is about belief. His life is about discipline. His life is about the refusal to let failure define you. And that, my friends, is something each of us can learn from, whether you ever touch a basketball or not. Let's go back to where it began. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born on February 17, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York, and raised in Wilmington, North Carolina. He was not born with a silver spoon. His father worked hard, his mother was strict, and his household believed in discipline, values, and responsibility. But the defining moment that shaped him came in high school. As a sophomore, young Michael tried out for the varsity basketball team. And guess what? He was cut. He didn't make it. The coach thought he was too short, not skilled enough. Imagine being a teenager, having a dream in your heart, and being told by someone you respect that you're not good enough. Most kids would cry, give up, and move on. But not Michael. He went home that night, locked himself in his room, and cried. Yes, he cried. But in his tears, he made a promise. He promised himself that he would never, ever let someone else decide his destiny. He hung a sign on his wall that said, "I will show them. I will make myself unstoppable." And that is the first lesson of Michael Jordan's life. Failure is not the end. Failure is fuel. Now here's what separates Michael Jordan from the rest. After being cut from the team, he didn't just practice a little more. He practiced like a man possessed. Every morning before school, he would wake up early, pick up a basketball, and shoot for hours. After school, while other kids played video games or hung out with friends, Michael would be on the court, sweating, missing shots, running drills. He once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Do you hear that? Most people see the highlights. They see the slam dunks and the 6 championships. But they don't see the thousands of hours he spent in an empty gym, practicing when no one was watching. They don't see the failures, the missed shots, the sweat, the exhaustion, the lonely nights. The truth is simple. Success is not built in the spotlight. Success is built in the shadows. By his senior year of high school, Michael's hard work paid off. He became a star, attracting attention from college scouts. He went on to play for the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill under the legendary coach Dean Smith. Now, in his very first year at UNC, something magical happened. In the 1982 NCAA championship game, with just 17 seconds left, the ball was in Michael's hands. He took the shot, swish, game winner. The freshman kid who was once cut from his high school team was now a national champion. But here's the beautiful part. After that game, reporters asked Coach Dean Smith what made Jordan special. Smith didn't say talent. He didn't say height or speed. He said, "Michael Jordan has a competitive fire that I've never seen before. He wants to be the best, and he is willing to work for it." Lesson 2, my friends. Talent can open the door, but work ethic keeps you inside. Fast forward to 1984. Michael Jordan was drafted by the Chicago Bulls as the 3rd overall pick, and from his very first season, he shocked the world. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was performing art. The way he moved, the way he jumped, the way he made defenders look helpless. It was like watching poetry in motion. But here's what most people forget. The Chicago Bulls were not a great team at the time. They were struggling. They didn't have a winning culture. Michael came into a team where many players didn't care about discipline, didn't care about hard work. But Jordan refused to lower his standards. Instead, he lifted everyone else's. Do you know what he said? "I'm not competing with other players. I'm competing with myself to be the best version of me every day." And that's lesson 3. Stop competing with others. Start competing with yourself. In the late 1980s, Jordan was already a superstar, winning scoring titles and dazzling fans. But there was one problem. He couldn't win championships. Year after year, his Bulls were knocked out of the playoffs by stronger, tougher teams, especially the Detroit Pistons, known as the Bad Boys. The Pistons created what they called the Jordan rules. Their strategy was simple: hit him, hurt him, stop him at all costs. Every time Michael drove to the basket, they would foul him hard, knock him down, intimidate him. But Michael Jordan didn't complain. He didn't run to the referees. He didn't say it's unfair. Instead, he went to the gym. He bulked up, built muscle, trained harder than ever. By the time the next season came, he was not only skilled, he was strong. He refused to be bullied. And that is lesson 4. When life hits you hard, don't cry, don't quit. Get stronger. Finally, in 1991, the Chicago Bulls broke through. They defeated the Pistons, went on to the NBA Finals, and won their first championship. Michael Jordan was the Finals MVP. For the next 2 years, the Bulls dominated, winning again in 1992 and 1993. 3 championships in a row. The world was in awe. But then something happened that no one expected. In 1993, Jordan's father, James Jordan, was tragically murdered. The man who had been his best friend, his mentor, his biggest supporter, was gone. Michael was devastated, and in his grief, he shocked the world by announcing his retirement from basketball. Think about that. At the very top of his career, the greatest player in the game walked away. Why? Because even champions are human. Even legends feel pain.
But here's the thing about Michael Jordan. Pain never defeated him. It only shaped him. During his time away from basketball, Jordan pursued a childhood dream, playing professional baseball. He joined the minor leagues, and once again, people laughed. They said, "What is he doing? He'll never make it." And truth be told, he struggled. He wasn't great at baseball. But here's what I love. He tried. He didn't care about critics. He didn't care about failure. He cared about giving his best. Then in 1995, 2 words shook the sports world. A simple press release with just 2 words. "I'm back." Michael Jordan returned to the NBA. And though he lost in the playoffs that year, the very next season, he led the Bulls to another championship. Then another. Then another. 3 more in a row. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 2 three-peats, an entire decade of dominance. Lesson 5. Champions are not remembered for never falling. They are remembered for always coming back.
My friends, let's continue this journey. We left off with Michael Jordan's incredible comeback, 6 championships, 2 separate three-peats, and a career that redefined the meaning of greatness. But if you think his story ends with basketball trophies, you are mistaken. Because the real power of Michael Jordan lies not just in what he did, but in how he thought. Michael Jordan once said, "My attitude is that if you push me towards something that you think is a weakness, then I will turn that perceived weakness into a strength." Think about that. Most of us run from our weaknesses. We hide them. We pretend they don't exist. But Jordan looked at his weaknesses and attacked them. He turned them into strengths. That's why when people tried to bully him, he built strength. When people said he couldn't shoot, he practiced until his jump shot was deadly. When people said he couldn't win championships, he built leadership. His mindset was not about avoiding challenges, it was about embracing them. Do you know what his teammates used to say? They said that Michael Jordan practiced harder than he played. Imagine that. The man who was already the best player in the world would go to practice and treat it like the NBA Finals. One of his teammates, Steve Kerr, once shared, "Michael set the tone for our practices. If you weren't ready to work hard, he would embarrass you. He would demand your best every single day." And that's another lesson. Excellence is not an act. It's a habit. Jordan was not great because of talent alone. He was great because he treated every day as an opportunity to improve. While others partied, he practiced. While others relaxed, he focused. While others settled for good, he chased greatness. Now, let's be real. Greatness comes with a price. Michael Jordan was not always the nicest teammate. He pushed people hard. He demanded more from them than they thought they could give. Some people didn't like that. But Jordan understood something very important. If you want to achieve extraordinary things, you cannot live an ordinary life. He once said, "I play to win, whether during practice or a real game, and I will not let anything stand in the way of me and my competitive enthusiasm to win." This intensity made him controversial at times, but it also made him unstoppable. In 1999, after his 6th championship, Jordan retired again. The basketball world felt empty without him. Yet, as always, he wasn't done. In 2001, he came back, this time with the Washington Wizards. Even though he was older, slower, and not the same explosive player, he still dropped 40-point games. Why? Because skill and heart don't retire. Finally, in 2003, Michael Jordan retired for good. Fans all over the world wept. The game of basketball had lost its greatest warrior. But here's the truth. Legends never retire. His influence continued. Kids growing up wanted to be like Mike. His work ethic inspired athletes across all sports. His Air Jordan brand became a global symbol. His story became a manual for anyone who wanted to succeed in life. In 2009, Michael Jordan was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. People expected him to give a soft, emotional farewell. Instead, he gave a raw, honest speech about competitiveness, about the people who doubted him, about the fire that kept him going. He reminded the world that he didn't play basketball to be liked. He played to win. He lived to prove that with belief, with discipline, with relentless effort, anything is possible. And that's when I realized something. Michael Jordan's story is not about basketball. It's about life. Now let me shift from Michael Jordan, the player, to Michael Jordan, the teacher, because his life is a classroom, and here are the lessons we must take. 1. Failure is fuel. When he was cut from his high school team, he didn't quit. He worked harder. Next time life says no, ask yourself, how can I turn this into fuel? 2. Discipline over talent. Talent may open the door, but only discipline keeps you in the room. Build daily habits that shape your future. 3. Compete with yourself. Don't worry about being better than others. Worry about being better than who you were yesterday. 4. Turn weakness into strength. Don't hide from weaknesses. Face them, train them, transform them. 5. Pain is part of growth. When his father died, Jordan broke down, but he came back stronger. Pain is not a wall, it's a bridge. 6. Never stop returning. Whether it was after retirement or after failure, Jordan always came back, and so can you. Let me share a few of his most powerful quotes, because these are not just words, these are weapons. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen. Limits, like fear, are often just an illusion. If you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never quit. These are not just quotes to hang on a wall. These are principles to live by. Now let me ask you, what is your dream? Maybe it's not basketball. Maybe it's business. Maybe it's art. Maybe it's studies. Maybe it's fitness. Whatever it is, Michael Jordan's mindset can guide you. When you fail, remember, failure is not the end. It is feedback. When you feel tired, remember, discipline beats motivation. When people doubt you, remember, their doubt is your fuel. When you feel fear, remember, fear is just an illusion. And above all, remember this, control your mind and you will control your life. So, my friends, what can we take away from the life of Michael Jordan? That success is not about being the tallest, the fastest, or the most talented. It's about being the most determined. It's about showing up every day. It's about practicing when no one is watching. It's about pushing yourself beyond limits. It's about rising after every fall. Michael Jordan was not just a basketball player. He was a symbol of human potential, a reminder that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results if they are willing to pay the price. And so I ask you, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to wake up early, to work harder, to believe when others doubt you, to stand tall when life knocks you down? Because if you are, then you have the same power Michael Jordan had. You have the power to rise. You have the power to conquer. You have the power to become a legend in your own story. Remember his words, I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. So, don't fear failure. Don't fear challenges. Fear only one thing, not trying. My friends, greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. Greatness is available to anyone who believes, who works, who refuses to quit. And if you want proof, just look at the boy who was cut from his high school basketball team, who went on to become the greatest basketball player the world has ever seen. That is Michael Jordan. That is the power of belief. That is the lesson for your life. Thank you.